We're live at the Georgia Dome, where over 70,000 fans have packed the stadium in hopes of what should be a great game between San Francisco and Atlanta. We'll now go to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth for our call. Guys?
With the dome protecting us from the elements, weather won't have an effect on this one today. I'm Tom Hammond. Chris Collinsworth is here. We're ready for the call. Taken from the 3-yard line. The teams are set. Fans are excited. Let's get this game underway. And now their offense will take the field for the first time in the game. Gord alone in the backfield. Gord on the give. Brought down at the 30. Maybe a yard on the run by the halfback. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 30-yard line. Smith lines up under center. Only one man back here. Again with the run. The defender gets him to the ground. The running back gets about a yard, maybe less. It's third down now, 9 to go. Ball on the 30. Single set backfield. Drops back. He throws on the run. Can't connect on the pass. That incompletion will bring up fourth down. It's fourth down. The 49ers lining up to punt. Lee awaits the snap. Gets it away cleanly. Jennings fields it at the 29. Not a bad return there.
That was really a good effort. There wasn't a ton of room for him to run, but he was able to get up the field, get a few yards. You never get upset with a punt return guy like that. It wasn't spectacular, but he got the job done.
Sets up the play action. Can't complete it. They can't complete the pass, and now the offense will be looking at second down. So they'll face a 2nd and 10. Ball on the 36. They're in the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Looking to throw. Rifles it out there. Pass is complete. Great time for that type of pass. It worked to perfection.
And that was a nice job by the offensive line, allowing the quarterback enough time to survey the field and find the open guy.
They go with a run. And he's hammered at the 49-yard line. A gain of 3 yards.
Boy, he just took a shot on that one. As a running back, the last thing in the world you want is a short gain and a big hit.
He took a shot at the 47-yard line. Turner gains about a yard on the play. 3rd and 5. Ball on the 47. Atlanta goes with the ace set here. Redmond drops back. Short throw to the left. He's tackled at the 46-yard line. Despite the great effort, it will still bring up fourth. They're trying to pin them deep with a solid punt right here. He gets it away. It's down at the 3. Not much the return man can do there.
Yeah, he really did the right thing there. That's just to let it go, get out of the way, and really was just give the guy credit. It was a good kick, very fortunate bounce. The last thing in the world you want to do in that kind of a situation is to fumble the football, give it up, short field for the other team, and a quick score.
He needs to make a decision. Deflected and broken up. And the defender breaks up the play.
Just great position that time on the defensive side. The receiver really never had a chance on that one.
And they get him at the 6. Gord gains about 2 yards on the run.
That was a big shot right there. You talk about getting your bell rung. That was the Liberty Bell ringing that time.
They hand it off. And he makes it out to about the 8-yard line. And they get no push from the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, they did. They were all moonwalking on that play. They were pushing. They were just pushing and going backwards.
Lee kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. Jennings takes it at the 45. Nice job on the punt coverage there. They'll set up shop at the 45. First down now and 10 to go. He looks to throw on first down. With the catch, he's dropped around the 39-yard line. Good pickup by the receiver.
And we've always talked about this receiver's big play ability. He may not be the fastest guy in the league, but you can tell he wants the ball in his hands in big situations.
Little handoff. He didn't get back to the line, and they'll lose a yard there, and that will bring up second down. Atlanta lines up in a shotgun set. Back to throw. With the pass. He goes up high for the catch. That was a nice catch. He went up leaving his body susceptible to the hit, but he came down with it and got a first down.
And there you see just a little bit of how tremendous these athletes are in the NFL. The ability to go up above the defense and make a play like that was fun to watch.
From the 16-yard line. For the first time today, we'll get to see how this defense responds when they're backed up into the red zone. They're going to pitch it. He's dropped for a loss. Well, they wind up in reverse that time. Good push by the defense.
And when the defense gets that kind of penetration, it just disrupts everything for an offense. They have to get that guy blocked.
The Falcons put a man in motion to the right. Pitch right. He doesn't get back to the line. Looked for a seam, but he wasn't able to find anything.
And let's give credit to the defense. They had a great push there. They got in the backfield, took control of their own gaps.
Back to pass. Looks down the field. Has time. Short pass to his left. He's tackled at the 14. It's completed, but it'll wind up short.
Well, it's not a horrible call in that situation because you put the ball in the hands of a playmaker. You try and allow him to create, but you're seeing now defensively, when they close together like that, it's going to be awfully tough to pick up that first down.
It's good. I had my doubts about that kick.
Yeah, he just squeezed that one in there, didn't he? I'm sure he's going to be exhaling for about the next 30 seconds.
Kicks this one deep. He'll take it from the 2. And we have a flag on the play. And I have a feeling this one's coming back.
Holding by the receiving team.
And I really didn't see the hold there.
Honestly, Tom, there is holding on every single play. I mean, the rule changes now allow for the guys to grab, but you have to keep inside the framework of the defensive player. As long as you do that, it typically doesn't get called. It did there.
They'll throw on first down. He scrambles away. Oh, that's just sloppy. Bruce was his intended target on that one, but they can't complete the pass. So they'll face a 2nd and 10. Single set backfield. Smith will look to throw. Throws it short. Completed. And he made a great open field tackle. Pretty nice pickup on the pass that time.
And that's simply good design and execution on the pattern. They work hard all week in practice to make sure that on game day they have that timing down perfectly.
Makes a cut, and he will be hit and dropped. So he works his way past the marker for a first down.
Sometimes defensively, you're so sure they're going to throw the football, you just take your eye off the running back for a second, and that time they broke it out of there for a huge first down.
Ford off the right side. He gets out to about the 28-yard line. Gord picks up 2 yards with the carry. 2nd and 8 coming up here. Ball on their own 28. They line up in the I formation. Looking to throw. Throws it short. Makes the reception. Tackled at the 39-yard line. A nice completion to the tight end.
I always thought tight ends were sort of like pacifiers for babies, you know, just about the time that you need a little security blanket, you know where to go.
Delayed handoff. He's brought down at the 47-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup. That brings up 2nd down. 2 yards away here on 2nd down. Gord alone in the backfield. They're going to pitch it. It came loose. They fall on it. And that was not a good time for a fumble.
Well, there's really never a good time for a fumble, but you can tell that he just got sloppy with that football. He broke down on his fundamentals, and he gave it up.
Short throw to the left. Brought down at the 44-yard line. Nice little pickup on that pass pattern.
And I really shouldn't feel this way, but I get a little nervous every time this guy goes up to make a catch, you know, because he's had a little bit of a history of dropping some balls, but today doing a nice job hanging on and a big play there.
Here's the give. He's dropped around the 37-yard line. I have to say, that was an impressive run on the play.
Anytime in the NFL you see a 7-yard run for a first down, you know those guys up front are not only making their blocks, they're sustaining those blocks.
He'll get the call again. Hit hard at the 36-yard line. 1 yard gain on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down. From the 36-yard line. Turner lines up as the deep back, I formation. He throws left. And he can't make the catch. Mahaley was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. They line up at the 36. 1 man in the backfield. Back to throw. Here's the throw. Brings it in. Tackled at the 14. There was a defender right in his face that time.
But that's why you do all those concentration drills as a receiver. You know you're going to catch it in a crowd, and as we always say, you're going to get hit anyway, you might as well catch it.
They'll throw on first down. Gets rid of the ball. And they get him right around the 6-yard line. Just a short, efficient throw that time.
Yeah, a true sign of patience on the offensive side. You let the play develop. You find the open receiver. Maybe he takes a look down the field. It's not there. Just go ahead and take that safe throw.
On the ground with a tailback. He's dropped around the 7-yard line. They got little there.
Very effective call that time by the defensive coordinator, bringing the outside linebacker a terrific way to give your defense some help in stopping the run.
Play action. Throws middle. And he scores. What a play! Outstanding play to the wide receiver as he took it the distance.
Boy, that's just a big-time pitch and catch right there. The quarterback made a beautiful throw, but it was the route by the wide receiver that set it up. He was as open as I've seen all afternoon.
It's good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick. Drilled at the 27-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Fakes to the back. He's there for the catch. He's tackled around the 39-yard line. He shows no hesitation and gets it in there to get the first down.
Yeah, you wouldn't hesitate either if you were standing back there in the pocket. I say the heck with it. Get it out of there fast. Let somebody else handle it for a little while.
And they motion a guy to the right. He drops back. Short pass to his left. Brought down about the 43-yard line. And they get 5 yards from that completion.
He'll take plays like that all day long.
Looking to throw. Dumps it out left. And he's out of bounds, incomplete. They went with a sideline pass, but he couldn't stay in bounds.
And that would have been a spectacular catch if he'd been able to come up with that one, just thrown a little bit too far outside.
Looks to pass. He's running out of time. It's a fumble. Heitman picks it up off the ground. And that flag was thrown in the area of holding.
Holding. Offense. The penalty is declined.
4th down. The 49ers are lining up to punt it away. Jennings is the deep man awaiting the return. Lee punts it, and he really got a leg into this one. It appears that we have a flag on the play. Jennings fields it at the 27. Looked like someone got caught holding. Here's the official call.
Holding defense. The penalty is declined.
1st down, 10 to go. Ball on their own 49. Single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Handoff up the middle. He gets to about the 37-yard line. And that was a nice job to pick up the 1st down.
Nothing makes a defensive coordinator cringe more than seeing that kind of run, because then it sets up the play action, and there's almost no way to stop an offense if you can't stop the run and you have to deal with play action.
Short throw to the right. Can't hang on. 2nd down coming up after the incomplete pass. 2nd down now with 10 to go. Ball on the 37. And they'll line this one up with 2 tight ends. And they'll run them again. Tackled at about the 33-yard line. Turner gains around 3 yards on the run. From the 34-yard line. 5 DBs on the field. Back to throw. Throws while on the run. Goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that's a pattern that this team likes to run. You know they've been studying that all week on film, and yet they still can't stop it.
Play fake. The defense has him surrounded, and he caught it. Brought down at the 16. So they pick up quite a few yards on that play.
Yeah, really a nice route that time. One of the keys to playing wide receiver is the ability to not only get into cuts, but to get out of the cuts. That time, very explosive coming out of that cut, and it made the difference.
They'll give it off here. Stiff arms, and he's brought down. Solid gain on the delay as they convert for a first down.
Little delay there allows the running back to see the holes in front of him. Not a big gainer, but they did pick up the first down.
Turner gets it on the inside. He's dropped around the 6-yard line. Turner picks up about 7 yards on the run. Atlanta lines up in the offset eye this time. Fakes to the back. The pass falls incomplete. He can't come down with the ball. It'll sail out of the back of the end zone.
You know, as a receiver, especially in the end zone, I love those high balls where you had a chance to go up and make a play, but that was a little too high.
Turner on the inside handoff. And they didn't get it. Got a couple, but will still be short of the marker.
Great play by the defense. You always hear coaches talking about whoever gets lower. Get your pad level lower than the offensive lineman. That time this defensive line did exactly that.
Still a lot of time left, but at the end of one, our score, the Falcons 10, the 49ers nothing. 4th down, and they'll line up for the short field goal, this one from 22. Here's the kick. And right down the middle. Good kick that time as he puts it right through. Booming kick. Robinson fields it at the 1. Drilled at the 23-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. First down, looking to throw. Makes the throw out to his right. The quarterback put that one too far out in front of his receiver, and he couldn't stay inbound.
He tried to make a safe throw there, but the receiver was open. It didn't have to be quite that cautious and just let him out of bounds.
They give it to the tailback. He's brought down around the 26-yard line. The running back gains 2 yards on the carry.
Not very often in a game does a defender get a clean shot like that on a running back. Typically, the running back didn't see it coming to take that kind of a shot.
Smith drops back. On the run, he throws it. Houston gets the interception. And they get him around the 34-yard line. And just a great interception by the cornerback.
You might want to start thinking about trying to pick on that guy. We've seen all day he has simply been quicker to the spot than the wide receivers coming into his area.
They hand it off. Cuts back and he's dropped. And he gets a yard on the run. It's 2nd down and 9 to go. Ball on the 33-yard line. Atlanta lines up in a shotgun set.
Zebra.
He's looking to throw. He throws it. Pass completed. Brought down at the 15. And a nice pass to the tight end.
So much of the game today revolves around those substitution packages, trying to bring extra defensive backs on the field to try and help against the pass. But when you have a big receiving tight end, that really makes that plan awfully tough to execute.
He's dropped right around the 6-yard line. Turner gains 7 yards on that play. They'll need about 3 yards here on second down. Atlanta lines up with 3 receivers. Turner gets the carry. He gets out to about the 6-yard line. A yard, maybe 2 on the carry. Short yardage situation here. They'll need a little less than a yard to convert. They hand it off. Tackled at the 3. It wasn't much of a run, but it did get them a first down.
Those are money yards right there. Just a couple of yards on the gain, but anytime you look up and they're moving the change, you know you've done your job.
He's under pressure. Makes a move, and he's in. Touchdown. That was a nice pitch and catch by these two.
That play is just so hard to stop down here on the goal line. All you have to do is get a little body position. Quarterback zips it in there. These two guys are tremendous at that play.
This should add the extra point. Up and good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. Gets a good kick here. Rossum fields it at the goal line. Hit and dropped at the 22-yard line. It'll be interesting to see how this quarterback reacts after throwing an interception on his last drive. Smith lines up under center. 2 backs in the eye. They go with the run. And he's drilled at the 25. A gain of 3 yards.
And that's why you send all those guys to plug up the holes, and that time there were no holes, really, and he was lucky to get anything on the play.
He'll get the call again. He's tackled about the 27-yard line. 3 yards there, and that makes it third down. Shotgun formation. Looks to pass. Looking for a receiver. Looks like he had it, but it's knocked loose. The defense had their number during that last series as they go 3 and out.
And it really looked like the defense won the battle up front. The big guys controlling the line of scrimmage made the difference there.
It's away, and it's a booming punt. Jennings takes it at the 28. And he's decleated at the 33-yard line. They were able to score through the air the last time they had the ball. Let's see what they planned for this drive. They'll throw on first down. And they're coming after him. He's dropped at the 41-yard line. Nothing wrong with that pass. It goes for a good gain.
You know, and when you talk to some of these receivers, they say the real strength of this quarterback is that he throws a very, very catchable ball.
Feeds it to the back. And they get him at the 43-yard line. Not a huge gain, but he got the first down.
And that's really the key. There are some backs in this league that just have a feel for that first down marker, almost like they can see that yellow line on the field and know how to get there.
And they'll run him again. gains his way to the 49-yard line. A nice job of the running back as they pick up a gain of 8. San Francisco lines up with their dime defense. Another run. Fumble. Blaylock gets his hand on it and scoops it up. He put it on the ground, but they were able to get it back.
And that was lucky. Anytime you're getting attacked by a defense and you put it on the ground, that is just nothing but pure luck to get it back.
He's tackled around the 42-yard line. He carries the ball for 3, maybe 4 yards. High formation here. Hartsock goes in motion to the right. Redmond will look to throw with the pass. Makes the grab. He gets knocked out of bounds at the 30. He gunned that one in there for the first down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see him driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
Fakes the run. And he just got hammered. And that was a nice play to get in there for the sack.
The key to playing defense is getting good penetration. If you can make that quarterback move around sometimes, even if you don't get to him like they did on that play, you can still disrupt an offense.
Redmond will look to pass. There for the reception. He's going to be tackled for a loss. No gain on that completion. We've got 3rd and long here. Ball on the 37. Redmond comes to the line. 3 wide formation. Redmond is looking to stay perfect on this drive. Still good on the drive. Tackled at the 26-yard line. Still not quite enough, however. They'll still be facing 4th down. The set down. The kick is up. It's got the distance. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. That was not his best effort.
Not his best effort. You're being kind. That was pretty bad right there. And now you've got to go over and look at your teammates in the eyes as a field goal kicker. Know that they did all that work to get you down in position to do your job, and you couldn't get it done.
He's tackled at the 34-yard line. A pickup of less than a yard, and that will bring up 2nd down. Atlanta brings in the nickel here. He drops back. Passes to his left. He's dropped in the open field. And a great pass by the quarterback to convert for the first.
And what we're seeing out of this quarterback is a variety of throws. Yes, he has the ability to zip it in there when he needs to, but we've also seen some touch throws, a very complete repertoire.
Huge hit.
Frank Gore has really turned himself into a powerful superstar style of runner in the NFL. A very classic one-cut runner. He's not going to dance around. He's going to find the hole, and he's going to give it everything he has to get every inch that he can in that hole.
Toss. He's brought down around the 37-yard line. The halfback received the toss and exploded up the field for an 8-yard gain. San Francisco lines up in the offset eye this time. Hands it to the back. Brought down behind the line. That defensive lineman just seems to have a knack for finding the ball carrier.
You know, listen, I would never want to block a defensive lineman. So, I've seen these guys. I know these guys. They're big and they're nasty. But at least from an offensive standpoint, you have to try to get in their way.
The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
He gets it away. It'll go out at the 19. You have to like it when your punter can pin the ball inside the 20 like that.
Now, this has got to be one of the tougher punts to make here. It's so easy to get a little too much on the kick, sending it into the end zone for a touchback. He did a great job hitting it just right on that one.
They keep it on the ground with the tailback. And they get him at the 21. The running back gains 2 yards on the carry. Turner, the lone back. Defense closing in. Hartsock fumbles. Willis recovers the loose ball. And that fumble recovery will put an end to their drive.
And there's nothing that frustrates an offense or a head coach more than fumbling. You know you're going to give a couple of interceptions, a couple of issues during the course of a game, but you hate to see those fumbles.
The offense will take over at the 21-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Drops back on 1st down. Throws it. There for the catch. Tackled at the 11. Great pickup for the first on that one.
And really what makes NFL football so special is the ability of these quarterbacks to throw it and these great receivers to catch it. That's just fun to watch.
Here's the give. Brought down at the 7. Just about a 3-yard gain. That brings up 2nd down. They'll need 7 for the score. Smith lines up under center. They'll line up in the I formation. They give it to the tailback. He's brought down at the 6. Gore comes away with 2 yards on the carry. Just 5 yards from a touchdown now. They're crowding that line of scrimmage. They hand it off. And they get him at the 5. Nowhere to go on the delay. He's got it. He makes that one pretty easily and puts it through for 3 points. Excellent kick here. Still moving. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. They line up in an I. Drops back. The pocket is collapsing. Harris catches it. Interception. Down the sideline. What a big-time play. I can't believe he hung on to it.
Well, we're going to have to quit using that old cliche about cornerbacks and defensive backs not being able to catch the football. That was some play that time.
Looks to pass. Under heavy pressure. Comes down with it. He's dropped at the 14. And this receiver just loves it when the defense is in man coverage.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than when you're coming off the ball and you know it's just you and the guy across from you. That's just good old-fashioned football, but you also know typically when you get man coverage, your quarterback is under pressure.
San Francisco uses motion. Gord on the handoff. Brought down around the 5-yard line. Great job of the running back. That's a gain of 9. They'll line it up, 5 yards for the score. They're crowding the line. Hands it off. He's brought down at the 3, but he seemed to know right where the first down marker was on that run.
It wasn't a big gain there, but that one little juke that he made was just enough to pick up the first down.
Nice play fake. Looking for an open man. And he's dragged down for the sack. I would expect to see a little better protection from the guys up front on the offensive line.
Yeah, I have to agree. When you start giving up sacks like that, it really changes the complexion of the game. And I think in particular, the quarterback who has this clock in his head working, he starts to anticipate when the pressure is going to get there. And if he starts thinking it's going to happen sooner, all of a sudden the timing of your offense is completely off.
The pass was on target, and it goes for 6.
That's one of those great throws where the receiver was covered when he actually made the throw, but he threw it to a spot, and the timing was perfect for the touchdown.
The snap, set down, the kick is up, and we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Here's the kick. Hit and dropped at the 22-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. The Falcons come out in the ace formation. Turner on a counter right side. He's tackled at the 22. 2 minutes left in the half. They'll face second down and 10. Ball on their own 22. Redmond lines up in the gun. He has 3 receivers in the formation. He drops back. Looking for a receiver. Is there for the catch. What happened there, Chris?
Well, they got caught in man-to-man coverage on that play, and I couldn't tell if the defender slipped a little bit or not. Maybe he just got beat on the play.
Back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. He makes another reception on the drive. He made the right read on that pass.
Nice play that time by the quarterback. You know, we talk about progressions and going from one receiver to the next, but this quarterback is doing a great job in the pre-snap read, knowing who the first guy will be and getting him the football.
Back to throw. Dumps it out right. He steps out at the 47-yard line. Not much of a gain at all on that first down completion.
Pretty tough sometimes when a quarterback is looking at his first read, it's not there. The second read is there, but he knows his guy is going to get hit immediately afterwards, and that's what happened there. They took away the first and second read.
Brought down at the 44-yard line. Another positive gain through the air.
And it really helps when the quarterback gets the kind of protection he's getting so far in this one. This offensive line's doing a nice job building a pocket for this quarterback, and that's creating some nice passing lanes.
And they use motion. First down, looking to throw. Hasn't missed yet on this drive. The Falcons take a timeout, and they'll have 1 timeout left. Second down and a half-yard. Ball on the 34-yard line. Redmond lines up under center. They'll line up in the I formation. Pass is right. Lewis knocks it down. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
Turner lines up as the deep back, I formation. He's under a heavy rush. He's brought down at about the 23-yard line. They pick up several yards there on the pass.
And that fake really was the difference. Not only did the quarterback sell it, the running back sold it, the offensive line did, and the receiver was open for a nice play.
Toss. They tackle him for a loss. It looked as if the offensive line just collapsed on that play.
And it looked like this defensive line just beat him off the snap. Sometimes those guys can time out the quarterback's cadence, and if the quarterback doesn't start changing that snap count, his offensive line is going to really struggle.
It's 2nd down and 11 to go, and this is the 10th play of the drive. He's got it, and that was not an easy kick, Chris.
Yeah, it looked like a little adrenaline kicked in on that one, didn't it? Maybe even surprised him how far he hit that one.
And here's the kick. Rossum fields it at the 3. He's hammered at the 24-yard line. 1st down now and 10 to go. Ball on the 24-yard line. He's dropped. And as we head to halftime, the score is 23-10. He kicks it off. Caught at the 8. Drilled at the 32-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sport. If it's in the game, it's in the game. They run a counter. He's tackled at the 43-yard line. They caught the defense out of position on that run.
And this defense may be a little susceptible to that kind of a thing. They're so aggressive running to the football. That time they flowed downhill, got caught on the counter, lucky to contain that one for what it was.
They're going to pitch it. Dropped behind the line. The offense had a tough time picking up all their blocks on that play.
You know, you can draw up any sort of protection scheme and blocking scheme that you want, but ultimately this game comes down to one big man against another big man, and that time the defense's big men, they won the battle.
He throws left, makes the catch, and they get him right around the 50-yard line. Another fine pass and catch on that play.
I know we all talk about 40-yard dash times in the NFL, but as a receiver, if you are a great route runner and you understand what the defenses are trying to do to you, it doesn't matter if you run a 4.3 40. If you can get in and out of your cuts like this guy, you will always be able to play.
It's intercepted. And that's the 2nd interception of the game by this defense.
You know, it's a little bit just the nature of the game that if you're going to try and throw the ball down the field and fit a few things in there, you're going to throw some interceptions. He took a chance there and got caught.
Gives it off. He's dropped around the 48-yard line. Gore gains about 4 yards on the play. Gore alone in the backfield. Inside give. What a brutal hit. That's 4 yards on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down. The 49ers come out in a 2 tight end set. Play action. Guns it to the middle. Boley has the interception. Well, he looked like he was in the right place at the right time.
Unless you're the quarterback, then he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Redmond lines up under center. 3 receivers are split out wide. There's a play fake. And it's completed. He's brought down at the 44-yard line. That was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, great throw, but maybe even a better read. He understood by watching what the defense did after the snap of the football exactly where to go with that ball.
Redmond calls for motion left. Throws on the run. Oh, that's just sloppy. And he just managed to get a piece of it. Nice play by the defender.
And as a receiver, you really have to do a better job of coming back to the football at that point. You have to help the quarterback.
Scans the field. Fails to connect with his man. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while, you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
Redmond looking to throw. Gets the pass off. He's tackled at the 38. 6-yard gain on the play.
When you get that man-to-man coverage, sometimes you have to be a little bit careful. There are defensive backs in this league that will take a chance, jump that one, and if they do, it's 6 points the other way.
They get this one off, and it's a great kick. Into the end zone for a touchback. On his last drive, the quarterback completed a pass, but to the other team. Throwing another one could be disastrous to this offense. Give to the tailback. Brought down about the 25-yard line. Gore gets 6 yards on the carry. So second down now. The offense needs about 4 for the first. Drops back to pass. Throws it out. Can't stay in bounds. Incomplete pass. The receiver was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Not a perfectly timed throw that time. Held on to it just a little too long and led the receiver out of bounds.
Back to pass. Under heavy pressure. Out of bounds, incomplete. He caught that one out of bounds.
Well, you could see the receiver doing all he could to keep his feet in bounds, but that pass just let him out of bounds.
Atlanta looks like they're sending everything but the kitchen sink at this punter. Lee will punt it, and he absolutely boomed it. Jennings fields it at the 26. What a hit! What happened to the coverage there, Chris?
Oh, come on. They completely lost containment on that guy. I mean, you just can't let that happen. I'll be honest. They were really lucky they didn't give up a touchdown on that one.
He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. I don't think the offense expected the safety to come up on the ball like that.
Well, you know the safeties are going to attack the line of scrimmage against the run, but you just don't expect them to get there so soon that they're going to make the tackle in the backfield.
He drops back. Strong throw. What a shot! Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
He's under pressure. Catch is made. Excellent open field tackle. Great job to haul in that first down pass.
This team is just so good at executing those short, quick passes and picking up first downs and keeping drives alive.
Drops back to pass. Throws out right. Bad luck as he drops it. An excellent job by the defense of disrupting that last play.
And that was really on the wide receiver. Not much of a route, very little separation, and gave the defense a chance to make that play.
Turner on the inside handoff. He's dropped at the 37. Turner picks up about 4 yards on the play. They line up in a double tight set. Back to throw. Passes it. Brings this one in. He's brought down at the 31. And that will be enough for the first down.
You know, it really wasn't a horrible call that time by the defense, but anytime you have to try and stop an offense like this in those medium yardage situations, you really have to come up in the coverage.
He fakes it. Short throw to the right. Brought down at the 20. Nice job by the quarterback to hit the tight end for a decent gain.
You know, tight ends may not come up with those real explosive plays down the field all the time, but they sure are a nice target for the quarterback.
They'll give it off here. Stiff arms, and the defender still makes the tackle. He found a seam and was able to turn it into a 10-yard gain. Atlanta sets up in the eye. Defense is getting pressure. Knocked out at the 3. That pass is good for a first down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
The Falcons line up with 2 tight ends. Atlanta sends a man in motion. Nice play fake. He'll try the end zone. The defense has struggled defending the pass in this one. He's now got 3 scores through the air.
Yeah, I always felt like with the rules the way they are today, that as long as you're executing as an offense and protecting up front, you should be able to throw the football. And when they've had opportunities to make plays today, they've made them.
And the point after is good. And here's your drive summary for that last series. He kicks it. Rossum has it at the 5. Drilled at the 27-yard line. They didn't look sharp on their last drive and were forced to punt it away. They'll start this drive at the 27. First down now and 10 to go. Feeds it to the back. He makes his way to about the 38.
Frank Gore is one of those guys that not a lot of people knew about coming out of college because he had so many injuries in college. He came out, though. He proved he could stay healthy. And this guy, pound for pound, may be the toughest guy in all of football. He is all fight all the time, and you better be strapping it on pretty tightly to go tackle Frank Gore.
He's brought down at the 49-yard line. They need to come up with a better game plan to stop this guy.
Yeah, you're not kidding. They can't keep giving up those big chunks of yardage like that. If they do, it's going to be awfully tough to stop this offense.
Again with the run. He's dropped right around the 40-yard line. Over 100 yards rushing, and he still doesn't quit, does he, Chris?
No, not that I can tell. I think this guy's in the kind of shape where he could play another game after this one and maybe even another game after that. His stamina is really what sets him apart. I've seen this guy work out. It is simply remarkable.
Smith back to pass. Throws it short. It's completed. He's tackled at the 38. There was some heat on that pass.
Yeah, he scored a few style points with that one, but more importantly, they pick up the first down.
The 49ers line up with two tight ends. Feeds it to the back. And they get him right around the 34-yard line. That's a 3-yard gain.
And they really ran right into the blitz. That's a time that a veteran quarterback should have changed the play at the line of scrimmage. You could see the blitz coming. He didn't audible and only came away with a short gain.
Drops back. Rolls right. And he has room to run. Tackled at the 24-yard line. These days, you need a back who has good hands.
Yeah, running backs today have to be really complete players. You mentioned the fact they have to be able to catch the football and make plays on the outside, but blocking is so key as well. You have to be able to do it all if you're going to be playing halfback in the NFL.
Setting up play action. And he catches it. He's tackled at the 17. Norris picks up 7 yards with that catch. So that'll make it second down. They come out with a big set. Little handoff. Brought down at the 10. They've got the defense completely off balance. It's another first down.
And you get the feeling this defense is fishing a little bit right now. They've tried a little bit of everything. Some man coverage, little blitz, little zone blitz, all these different combinations available to them. And yet time after time, these first downs keep on coming.
He's looking to throw. Throws short. And they get him at the 9. He just couldn't make anything happen after bringing that one in.
And that play is really all about the closing speed on defense. They'll let you have the completion, but then they close quickly and make the play.
Davis, the man in motion. Drops back. Steps up in the pocket. He's dropped at the 2. 7-yard gain on the play.
Little 7-yard throws like that have really become the staple of the National Football League. So many defenses now not allowing the big throws down the field. You have to be willing to take throws just like that.
He drops back to pass. He's sacked. What can they do to stop the bleeding here, Chris? They've brought him down 4 times now.
This defense has been getting consistent pressure throughout. Right now, they're just beating them to the punch. They're a little quicker off the ball, a little stronger at the point of impact.
And it's good. Nice work putting that one right through the uprights. He kicks it. Brought down at the 24-yard line. And they take the field with one thing on their mind, another scoring drive. Atlanta goes with the ace set here. Turner takes the handoff. Tackled at the 32-yard line. Turner gains 8 yards on that play. Second down now, 2 yards to go. Atlanta lines up in the offset eye this time. He didn't get back to the line. A great defensive effort there.
Did you see how fast that linebacker was on that one? Not only did he recognize it, but when he did recognize it, he had the explosiveness to get there.
He needs to get rid of it. And it's caught. He's tackled right around the 42-yard line. A good play fake that time.
It really was. I didn't see it. I thought it was a run play. He pulled it out of there and came up with a nice gain.
They'll throw on first down. Passes on the move. He's brought down at the 48-yard line. He's put up some nice yardage, Chris.
He sure has, but throwing for 300 yards probably isn't quite the same feat it used to be. You know, there's so many rule changes now. The offensive linemen can do a little more holding, use their hands more. Of course, you can't hit the receivers, but it's still a nice landmark.
Redmond set to go to the air. Gets it off. He makes another catch. And they get him around the 40-yard line. They pick up solid yardage there.
And I love to watch this wide receiver work. He is so patient with his routes. He gets down low into his cuts, and he really understands what the defense is trying to do to take him away, and he is working them over.
Drops back. Passes the ball. Brought down right around the 30-yard line. Gain of 9. Second and short coming up here. Turner alone in the backfield. Redmond with the give. He fights forward to about the 29. He really fought hard to get the first there.
That was a tough couple of yards right there, but oftentimes those little 2-yard gains that move the sticks can make such a big difference in the game.
Redmond calls for motion left. Redmond has completed every pass on this drive. He's tackled at the 20-yard line. They hook up for a pretty good gain on that one. Nice pass.
Yeah, good pass and good confidence by the quarterback there. He saw the opening. He knew there was a spot that he could get that in there, but you could see he had the confidence to let this receiver make a play, and that's really what pro football is all about.
They'll go with the run once again. He's brought down at the 19. So at the most, he gains a few inches, and that makes it third down. That brings up another third down attempt. Redmond comes up to the line. 3 wide receivers split out wide. On play action, tries for the end zone. And it's tipped away. What an effort out there. He just got his hands in there and broke it up.
I love watching the closing speed of this defense. When they see the ball, they go get it.
The snap, set down, the kick is up. Well, that one looked like it was going wide, but it barely made it in.
That one just made it inside the upright. That's one where you see the field goal kicker going, but he got it.
Drilled at the 24-yard line. They had to settle for a field goal on their last drive. They take the field again, looking to put up another score. Smith lines up under center. They'll line up in the I formation. On the ground with a tailback. And they get him at the 29-yard line. Gore gets 6 yards on the play. It's 2nd and 4. Ball on the 29. Smith lines up in the shotgun. He has 4 receivers in the formation. He throws on the run. Great open field tackle. And a pretty smart play call right there.
It really is so much the key to football. You talk all the time about you have to establish the run. Well, there you see why. You establish the run, and then you come with the play-action pass. Just so hard to defend.
Gives to the back. He's tackled at about the 47-yard line. A pickup of about 7. That'll bring up 2nd down. It's 2nd and 3. Ball on the 48-yard line. Offset I formation in the backfield. San Francisco uses motion. Drops back to pass. Throws while on the run. Risky throw right there.
Boy, the quarterback has to be a better decision maker than that. There's no way he was going to get that one in.
Atlanta lines up with 5 defensive backs. The 49ers motion to the left side. Smith drops back, steps up in the pocket. And he catches the tip pass. And he put a lot of air under that ball.
Yeah, but that makes it so hard for a defender to try and make a play. That's exactly what you want to do. Just sort of drop it in a hole over the top.
The big game through the air sets the offense up with another 1st and 10. Throws the bullet across the middle. They bring him down, and it's 1st and goal. The defense was looking run, and they threw it for a big gain.
Well, when you have a talented running back like this, you always have to account for him. That time, a nice play-action pass, open it up down the field.
Passes it out. Hutchins has the pick. Why did he even make that pass?
You know, Tom, I think he got baited into that throw. He thought the defensive back was going elsewhere. He did a little fake, came back in, made the pick, just a real heads-up play.
Drops back on 1st down. They get to it. It seems to me they're having a tough time picking up their blocks.
Something went wrong on that play. You know, you have the quarterback who makes line calls, then you have the center who may adjust the line calls. Just watching that protection, I think something went wrong in the communication between the quarterback or the center. Somebody, that was a mistake.
On the run, he throws it. It's loose, and it will go out of bounds. And that was a little bit of luck on that carry.
I wish a few more of my fumbles would have bounced out of bounds. What a lucky break that was.
Redmond with the give. Brought down at the 23. Their defense did the job on that series.
Yeah, nice job by the defense there, but offensively, now you have to begin to wonder just a little bit. They go back to the sideline, and you start questioning the play calling to some degree.
He punts it. Makes the fair catch. The defense dealt a crippling blow to this offense the last time they had the ball. They line up at the 36. The Falcons bring in the nickel package. They hand it off. He's brought down at about the 35-yard line. Maybe a yard on the run by the halfback. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 36-yard line. The defense is in the dime. He drops back to pass. Makes the short throw. Irons gets the pick. He's down the sideline. To the 10. They'll score. Touchdown. And that was the worst possible place to throw that ball.
Yeah, especially because that guy was playing defense, and that guy not only will pick you off, but he'll put points on the board. What a play.
The snap, set down, the kick is up. Atlanta up big. The kick. Rossum takes it at the 4. Big hit there to bring him down. The quarterback and his receiver were clearly not on the same page last time, and it led to an interception. San Francisco is going with the offset eye backfield. Sets up the play action. Pass is complete. He's dropped at about the 37-yard line. That'll be a 7-yard pickup, so that'll make it second down. The 49ers line up with 3 receivers, the quarterback in the shotgun. He drops back. He's dropped for the sack. So I have to ask, what happened on this play?
You know, it's difficult for an offense and an offense's ego to admit that you can't block somebody, but there are certain guys in the league that you just have to commit more people to block, and don't let it bother you. You've got to protect your quarterback.
He throws it with the catch. And he's knocked out at the 48-yard line. A decent gain there on that pass.
Yeah, a little timing route there, and you really have to have faith as a quarterback to get that ball out of your hand quickly if you're going to play with that kind of touch on the ball.
The halfback with the carry. And they get him around the 45-yard line. So a pickup of maybe 3, and that will bring up second down. The defense lines up in the nickel. Drops back to pass. Looking for a receiver. Past the line. Brought down at the 40. Does running the ball here make any sense?
Only if the running back has a big incentive clause in his contract. I'm sure he's happy about it, but mom and dad at home, those fans probably aren't.
Back to pass. Throws the bullet to the left. Almost picked. The defender gets a hand on it, and that will bring up fourth down.
I don't know if that's the guy I want to pick on third down when you have to have a conversion. He is tough.
Smith will hand it off. Tackle around the 38-yard line. Short gain, but more than enough as they convert on fourth down.
Well, when you get in that kind of situation, certainly no surprises. It just comes down to the big offensive lineman against the big defensive lineman, and the big guys on offense won that battle.
He's dropped at the 31. Norris caught that one for a gain of 7. That'll make it second down. San Francisco lines up in the offset eye this time. Looking to throw. Gets the ball away. Brought down right around the 20-yard line. Not too bad a pass there.
Not too bad at all. And sometimes those little touch throws are actually more difficult than the bullet passes. Kind of hard to come up with the timing to hit the receiver right in stride, but that was well thrown.
The defense has him surrounded. Completed. They bring him down, and it's first and goal. Not a bad pickup that time.
Yeah, the defense came with pressure, but they couldn't quite get to the quarterback, and they paid a price. He got it out of there, picked up a nice gain.
Gord on the inside handoff. Hit and drop behind the line. The offensive line didn't get much of a push on that play, and the runner was stuffed.
Well, that's what happens when defensively you get every gap covered. There is simply nowhere to go with the football. No chance for the running back that time.
And they get him at the 6. Gord gains about 4 yards on the play. Play 13 of the current drive. They'll come out with 3 wide receivers. Smith will look to throw. Dumps it out left. Into the end zone for a touchdown. And so he caught the short pass for the score.
And there's no doubt the quarterback knows who his moneymaker is down here on the goal line. He loves that big tight end.
And the point after is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick is away. Norwood from the 1. And he gets brought down hard. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Redmond comes up to the line. 3 wide receivers split out wide. Drops back on first down. Makes the reception. He got deep cleated. And another connection that goes for good yardage.
And we really see the trust that is developing between this receiver and the quarterback. That if the quarterback has confidence that you're going to be where he thinks you're going to be, he will throw it to you more often than he'll throw it to somebody else.
Little handoff. Flag on the play. Hold everything. We have a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense.
And that one will move the ball back.
Down.
Come on, offense. It's time to wake up out there. You can't give away yardage in this game.
Atlantic sets up in the eye. Looking to throw. Not much time to throw. Brings it in. He's brought down at the 31. Around an 8-yard pickup on the slant route that time. Offset I formation in the backfield. Brought down at the 35. And that was a nice pickup to get the first.
You know, as a former wide receiver, I never liked running the football ever. I thought it should be banned from the game. But when you can run it like that, boy, it's sure easy to make those calls.
There's a play fake. He's there for the catch. He's dropped at the 42. Good read of the defense on that pass play.
Yeah, and throws like that really settle a quarterback down. It's all about getting into the flow of a game, and you can see he's getting comfortable now.
Turner on the inside handoff. He's brought down right around the 42-yard line. The running back gets about a yard, maybe less. Third down once again. Let's see if they can convert this one. The Falcons come out with the offset I.
Hey, we gotta watch the ball, y'all. Watch the switch. New call.
And it looks short from up here. What happened there?
When you run the ball in that situation, typically it means you have a little more faith in your offensive line and your running back than you do the quarterback and the receivers. And that time, the offensive line and the running back didn't get it done.
Gets it away cleanly. He'll take it from the 18. And they get him at the 19-yard line. He really didn't have any room to work on that punt return.
No question about it. He needs a little more help out of his blockers than he got right there. This is a dangerous guy, and if he can get in some open space, he can create some problems for you, but just no space to be found there.
Toss. He's tackled at the 20-yard line. Just a yard there. That brings up second down. The 49ers come out in a single back formation. Drops back to pass. Dumps it out right. Tackled at the 31. That one worked pretty well.
It sure did, and I wish all our fans could see what's happening down the field on all our television broadcasts, because so much of the game now is won and lost in the secondary.
Smith calls for motion left. Back to throw. He throws right, and he caught it. He's dropped at about the 35-yard line. Around 5 yards on the throw that time.
Yeah, very safe, simple play, hitting the underneath receiver for a solid gain.
Drops back to pass. Fires it out. Pass completed. What a hit. I don't think he even saw that guy. The defense just didn't match up well on that play.
Yeah, tough to match up one-on-one in man coverage against that wide receiver. He's pretty good.
Drops back on first down. Rifles this one out to the right. 2 minutes left in the ball game. Excellent pass by the quarterback on that play.
I'm really enjoying watching the timing between this receiver and the quarterback. We're seeing a well-schooled offense now going to work.
Smith back to pass. He's been perfect on this drive. The quarterback is dropped. How do you give up 6 sacks in one game?
Well, I guess that's something you're going to have to ask the offensive lineman about after the game if you can find any of them. This is the kind of game where typically those guys take quick showers and they're gone.
Smith has completed every pass on this drive. Davis was the intended target on that incomplete pass attempt. Third down, 14 yards for a first. Ball on the 38. Smith dropping back. He's under pressure. He throws short. Makes the grab. He's tackled around the 29-yard line. Nice pass, but not enough for the first. That'll bring up fourth down.
Pretty nice play that time. They picked up some good yardage, but they lost the battle on first and second down and left themselves in third and long. Just too much to overcome.
Drops back to pass. Looks for a man open. They get to him on fourth down. They'll set up shop at the 33. It's first and 10. Redmond steps up to the line, 3 wide receivers. Fakes to the back. Strong throw to the center of the field. And they get him at the 45. A decent gain on the pass.
And that's good quarterback play. He recognized the blitz, he understood what was happening with the coverage behind it, and found the open man.
It's the fullback. He's dropped at about the 45-yard line. He plows ahead for a 2-yard gain. Second and 8 coming up here. Ball on the 46-yard line. They're packed in tight on the line. They'll give it off here. He lost yardage on the play. The defense just ate up that play.
Well, those defenders get paid too, and every once in a while they win the battle. Clearly that time they were all over this offensive line.
Turner gets the handoff to the right. He's tackled at the 50. Not really been a close one, as our final score is the Falcons 40, the 49ers 20.
Giant Stadium, home of both the Giants and the New York Jets, will be our host for what should be a great game between San Francisco and New York. Now we'll go to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth for the opening kickoff. Tom?
With a beautiful day in the forecast, we'll get ready for today's game. Hi everyone, Tom Hammond here, along with Chris Collinsworth. Rawsome from the 2. How do you see this one playing out, Chris?
We should see both of these teams trying to establish a good balance on offense in this one. Whoever can do that should be able to win this thing.
Swim. Let's go now. Let's go.
The 49ers line up with 3 wide.
Touch. 48. 48. Loosen. Come on.
He looks to throw on first down. Looks down the field. There for the reception. Brought down at the 37. Nothing wrong with that pass. It goes for a good gain.
You know, and when you talk to some of these receivers, they say the real strength of this quarterback is that he throws a very, very catchable ball.
Give to the tailback. And they get him at the 37. Less than a yard. From their own 37-yard line. Offset I formation in the backfield. Nice play fake. Short throw to the left. And he's out of bounds, incomplete. The quarterback put that one too far out in front of his receiver, and he couldn't stay in bounds.
He tried to make a safe throw there, but the receiver was open. It didn't have to be quite that cautious and just let him out of bounds.
Finally brought down at the 30. It looks like the defense just lost containment there.
And you really have to look at your safety play anytime somebody makes a run of that distance, because the very essence of playing the safety position is you have to be the last guy to protect your end zone.
Tosses it out. Brought down behind the line. Took it to the outside, but it leads nowhere.
Sweeps are plays that you see a lot more of in college football than you do in the National Football League, because everybody in the NFL is so fast. In high school and college, yeah, maybe you get it out around the corner. In the pros, tough to do.
He's hammered in the backfield. That'll be a 2-yard loss.
Boy, that's just great anticipation by the defense there. They saw that play coming and were all over it.
He drops back to pass. Throws on the run. He's brought down around the 22-yard line. And for as good of a catch as that was, this offense now has to deal with a 4th down. He's got it. Good job putting that kick right on target, and it goes through for 3 points. The kick is away. Hickson fields it at the 3. Hit and dropped at the 30. Now we'll see how the offense responds as they come onto the field for the first time.
All right, your defense just gave up a field goal, but that really doesn't change anything offensively. You come out, stick to your game plan, do exactly what you planned on doing here.
He looks to throw on first down. He throws on the run. He's tackled at about the 39-yard line. Good yardage that time on the pass.
And that was a little hum baby coming out of there from the quarterback. We've all heard about how strong his arm is, and we saw it there.
Drops back on first down. And they get him around the 48-yard line. The defense didn't have a chance on that one. Great throw that time.
Yeah, really not much a defense can do when you get a guy that can throw the football like that. You know, you get yourselves in position defensively, you think you're in the right spot, you're going to make a play, and a guy makes a throw like that and you go, hey, that's a good throw.
He fights forward to around midfield. Gain of 2. It's 1st and 10. Manning is in the shotgun. He has 3 receivers split out wide. Back to pass. Looking for a receiver. There for the catch. He's dropped at the 42. Jacobs caught that one for a gain of 7. So that'll make it 2nd down. The offense lines this one up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers in the formation.
Blue 45! Blue 45!
And straight ahead we go with the fullback. He fights forward to about the 40 and a pickup of about 2, and that makes it third down. It's third down now, just about the length of the football away from the first down marker. Looking to throw. Short throw. He's tackled at the 35. Nice heads-up play by the quarterback.
I agree. I like the way he stepped up and delivered that throw. He just simply is taking what the defense is giving him.
Manning lines up under center. Single set backfield this time. Defense closing in. He's dropped in the open field. They pick up several yards there on the pass.
And that fake really was the difference. Not only did the quarterback sell it, the running back sold it, the offensive line did, and the receiver was open for a nice play.
They'll throw on first down. Comes down with it. Brought down at the 12. Nice grab on the play, his second catch of the drive.
Yeah, and I'm going to expect to see a lot more passes to this guy. He's a good receiver. He's talented. He can make the catch and get upfield. But more importantly right now, this defense is creating some opportunities for him to catch the ball.
Goes for the end zone. Clements bats it away. And he just managed to get a piece of it. Nice play by the defender.
And as a receiver, you really have to do a better job of coming back to the football at that point. You have to help the quarterback.
Pitch out. He doesn't get back to the line. They tried to get around the corner, but nobody was fooled.
Well, risk reward, anytime you're talking about running the halfback on a sweep, when you get out there, if you can't get that edge blocked, you take a chance on giving up yardage, and that's exactly what happened there.
And right down the middle. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. Decent kick. Robinson takes it at the 4. Drilled at the 32-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. They go with the toss. And he will lose yardage on the play. Tried the run, but there was nothing available.
And if you can make a running back hesitate just a little, that time you could see there really was no hole, and the running back was just fishing for a place to go.
Gore gets it on the inside, and they get him at the 30. That's a 2-yard gain, and so it'll be third down. It's third down and 11 to go. Ball on the 30. The 49ers line up with 3 wide.
Come on, D, let's get off the field now. 388. Come on. 388. Here we go. Under. That's all we got.
Back to pass. Gets the pass away. Tipped away. And the pass will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And those are the kind of big third down plays you have to have on defense to get the ball back and give your team a chance on offense.
Lee kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. McQuarters fields it at the 24. The offense was only able to muster a field goal on their last drive. We'll see what they do with this possession. The offense lines this one up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers in the formation.
Screen here, Twan, screen. We up. Rainbow.
Drops back to pass. Guns it right. Is there for the catch. How about that pass?
Well, they got caught in man-to-man coverage on that play, and I couldn't tell if the defender slipped a little bit or not. Maybe he just got beat on the play.
Back to throw. Short pass. He's tackled at the 49-yard line. A gain of 6 yards on the play.
Good vision shown by the quarterback on that play to find the open man. You could see him looking around, then checking it down late for a nice pickup.
Looks to pass. Passes. Tackled at the 50. He just couldn't make anything happen after bringing that one in.
And that play is really all about the closing speed on defense. They'll let you have the completion, but then they close quickly and make the play.
Little handoff. They tackle him for a loss. That defense just came up big on the play.
Well, I'll be honest here. I really thought they would pass in that situation. You call a run, hoping you catch the defense somehow off guard, but that time they were not off guard.
Gets it away cleanly. From the 15. Brought down at the 21-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. They give it to the tailback. He's dropped at about the 25-yard line. They call his number, and he carries for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 now. Ball on their own 26. Gord lines up as the deep back. I formation. The halfback with the carry. Stiff arms, and he's brought down. After that run, they might want to give him the ball a few more times.
I agree. It looks like the defense is a little tired out there. Whatever the case, they're having a tough time now stopping the run.
Gives it off. Stiff arms, and the defender still makes the tackle. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. San Francisco lines up with 3 receivers, single back formation. Here's the halfback. He's dropped for a loss. He was caught with nowhere to go.
This is a pretty good running back, and if you can hem him up like that, pretty impressive.
They line up at the 34. The 49ers come out with 3 wide receivers. Quarterback in the shotgun.
Blue 45! Blue 40, Tiger!
Back to pass. Surveys the field. And they get him at the 39-yard line. Looks like they gained 5 on the screen that time. It's 4th down. The 49ers lining up to punt. McQuarters is back deep to receive. Punts it. McQuarters takes it at the 21. Brought down right around the 28-yard line. Not a bad return there.
That was really a good effort. There wasn't a ton of room for him to run, but he was able to get up the field, get a few yards. You never get upset with a punt return guy like that. It wasn't spectacular, but he got the job done.
Drops back on 1st down. He needs to get the pass off. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 7 yards on that play.
You got to give the defense a lot of credit on that one. They made a little correction at the line of scrimmage, and they had that play pegged right from the start.
Blue 45! Blue 45!
He's looking to throw. Looking for an open man. Knocked loose. 3rd down coming up after that incomplete pass. Now they'll face a 3rd and long. Ball on their own 22.
Left call. Get him, duck! Green 88! Green 88! Tiger! Hey, a wide like the run!
Drops back. Looks for a man open. Right through his hands. He almost had the pick. and it'll be 4th down following the pass deflection.
Just terrific play by the defense. They followed the quarterback's eyes, made a quick jump on the ball, and were all over that one.
Gets the punt away. Makes the fair catch. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt. They'll go to work at the 40. 1st down now and 10 to go. Gives to the back. Hit and dropped behind the line. The offensive line didn't get much of a push on that play, and the runner was stuffed.
Well, that's what happens when defensively you get every gap covered. There is simply nowhere to go with the football. No chance for the running back that time.
Smith back to throw. Strong throw to his right. Cuts back, and he's dropped. And a nice pickup there.
Nice play that time. The defense came with the blitz there. He made a good read, delivered a nice ball in there to the open man.
Smith comes to the line under center. Single set backfield this time.
Zebra, zebra. Go, baby. Hey, let's go, baby. Let's go.
They'll give it off here. He lost yardage on the play. No one picked up the linebacker, and it cost them.
And when your defensive line can handle their guys up front and not allow the offensive linemen to get down on the linebackers, it really gives those linebackers a chance to look great.
He's brought down at the 46-yard line. A pickup of about 3.
Well, that was the perfect time for them to call a blitz. They got in there, filled up all the gaps, brought down the running back for a short gain.
Drops back to pass. Gets the pass away. Wide open, and he can't hang on. Battle was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. So, it's 4th down. The 49ers are lining up to punt this one away. He punts it. This one's going to go out of bounds at the 23. They were forced to punt on their last drive. They hand it off. Makes a cut, and he will be hit and dropped. Just about 3 yards there.
Nice call there by the defensive coordinator, coming with the outside linebacker blitz, which really put some pressure on this group up front.
Jacobs gets the call again. He's tackled right around the 30-yard line. Jacobs gets 6 yards on the play. They line up at the 31. The Giants line up in an I formation.
Scatter, scatter, scatter. Come on, y'all, let those hook out. Alert run, alert run, alert run. Let the hook.
They hand it off. He's hammered in the backfield. That's going to bring up a 4th down. Tough break for the offense.
Yeah, they went to the run, hoping they would pick up the 1st down. Of course, I've been hoping to be a rock star all my life, and neither one of those things happened.
He gets it away. Makes the fair catch. Let's see if the offense can put something together on this drive. They'll start this drive at the 32-yard line. Offset I formation in the backfield. They go with the run. He fights forward to about the 33. Maybe got a couple of yards, but that's about it. That'll bring up 2nd down. Smith lines up under center. 2 backs in the I. He drops back. Throws off his back foot. Tackled at the 47-yard line. Not a bad pickup that time.
Yeah, the defense came with pressure, but they couldn't quite get to the quarterback, and they paid a price. He got it out of there, picked up a nice gain.
1st and 10. Ball on the 47. Gordon alone in the backfield. They'll keep it on the ground again. And he will lose yardage on the play. The defense just ate up that play.
Well, those defenders get paid too, and every once in a while they win the battle. Clearly that time they were all over this offensive line.
Goes through his read. He couldn't hang on to it. Battle was the intended receiver, but the pass fell incomplete. Offset I formation in the backfield. Looking to throw. Looks down the field. He makes another reception on the drive. And that one will end up just a little bit short, Chris, but still a pretty nice pass.
Nice pass, but it's still 4th down. But if I know this offensive coordinator and this head coach, I'm thinking they may go for it here. They've had a big successful play. Why not take advantage of it with this one?
Kicks it away, and it's a huge punt. Down in the end zone for a touchback. The defense played exceptionally well the last time this offense had the ball. Manning back in the shotgun. Moves up. Makes the catch. Knocked out around the 34-yard line. He put something extra on that throw, and it'll keep the chains moving.
And that's really what it takes sometimes, because defenders are so quick out there. If you don't put a little extra pop on it, they can get there.
Throws while on the run. He's tackled at about the 45-yard line. A good play fake that time.
It really was. I didn't see it. I thought it was a run play. He pulled it out of there and came up with a nice gain.
Tiger. Hey, don't lose your bite.
They'll throw on 1st down. He needs to get rid of it. And it's completed. It's completed, but not a whole lot of yardage gained on the play.
Yeah, this is a defense that just has too much speed for plays like that. You have to loosen them up some with some deep attempts for the short passes underneath the work.
Short throw to the right. He's brought down at the 50. Now this will bring up a pretty difficult 3rd down for the offense.
And this is when it's tough to play offense. When it's 3rd down and medium to long situation, generally you're going to face a blitz situation, and your quarterback is now going to be under pressure and probably take a hit.
And they motion a guy to the right.
Let's get off this field, man.
On play action. Almost intercepted, and the pass was knocked away at the last minute.
Well, at the end of the game, you go back and you basically say what happened on 3rd down, and you have a pretty good indication of how that game came out. Good play by the defense.
He gets it away. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. San Francisco lines up with 3 receivers, single back formation. Looking to throw. With the throw, catch is made. And they get him at the 36-yard line. He made the right read on that pass.
Nice play that time by the quarterback. You know, we talk about progressions and going from one receiver to the next. But this quarterback is doing a great job in the pre-snap read, knowing who the first guy will be and getting him the football.
Drops back to pass. Surveys the field. He's going to run. He's tackled around the 40-yard line. He made the play with his feet rather than his arm there.
And defensive coordinators hate running quarterbacks. They really do, because it's one more spot on the field that against some quarterbacks you don't have to defend.
He's looking to throw. On the run, he throws it. Knocked down. Battle wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. We've got a 3rd and 6. Ball on the 40-yard line. Gord alone back.
Blue 45. I got Blue 45. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
He throws it. It's broken up. The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
Gets it away cleanly. It'll go out at the 39-yard line. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt. Passes to his left. Goes out of bounds at the 45. Gain of 7 through the air on that play.
Good play design there. Very solid protection. Gave the quarterback time to examine the whole field until he finally found the open man.
He drops back. Looking for a receiver. Under heavy pressure. It's tipped away. What an effort out there. He just got his hands in there and broke it up.
I love watching the closing speed of this defense. When they see the ball, they go get it.
Tiger.
Looks to pass. Looks for a man open. Knocked down. The defender gets a hand on it, and that will bring up 4th down.
I don't know if that's the guy I want to pick on 3rd down when you have to have a conversion. He is tough.
Punts it. From the 15. He's brought down at the 20. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. They'll set up shop at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Gord lines up as the deep back, I formation.
Blue 45. Zero. Hey, never quit.
Pitch right. Brought down behind the line. That started off poorly and only got worse.
And you could see the running back there just saying, where are my guys? Where's my blocking? What's going on out here? Just need a little help from your friends.
Green 88. There we go. Green 88. Wide.
Looks to pass. Looking for an open man. Deflected and broken up. Davis wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. Smith is in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers this time. He's looking to throw. Rifles it left. Into traffic, and it's picked off. To the 20. Brought down at the 16. And the safety made a really nice play on the ball to grab that interception.
You know, this safety is known for his big hits, but that time it was his soft hands that made the difference.
Let's go right. Tiger.
They'll give it off here. And he makes it out to about the 14-yard line. He might have gotten a yard at best.
And they really ran right into the blitz. That's a time that a veteran quarterback should have changed the play at the line of scrimmage. You could see the blitz coming. He didn't audible and only came away with a short gain. Passes,
End zone, touchdown. The coaches have to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I guess they are. Anytime you draw up a play and it works to perfection like that, everybody's happy except the defense.
So they're ready for the extra point. Kick is up, and the point after is good. And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Kicks it off. Robinson fields it at the goal line. Big hit there to bring him down. Quarterback threw a pick on their last drive. Let's see if he's able to shake it off. The offense will take over at the 27-yard line. The 49ers come out showing 3 wide.
Let's go, keep playing. Bang, right. Roll it left.
They motion to the right.
Right. Goes left. Come on.
He drops back. Throws it. It's tipped away. An excellent job by the defense of disrupting that last play.
And that was really on the wide receiver. Not much of a route, very little separation, and gave the defense a chance to make that play.
Luke 45. Kings left. Let's go, baby. Get the ball out.
Drops back. Throws it short. Brings this one in. And they get him at the 35. Pretty nice read on that play to find the open man.
Yeah, the two of them really have been working hard, building a rapport in practice, and now you're starting to see some of those results out here on the field.
And they're not going to get it. Great stop. That play was stuffed from the get-go.
And it's not very often that I get really excited about defensive line play, but that time the guys up front on defense were just overpowering.
Lee will punt it, and he absolutely boomed it. He fields it at the 17. And he's decleated at the 38. That guy just showed off some pretty good skills on that return.
I thought for sure he was taking that one back to the house. You know, anytime you get a guy with that kind of skill level in the open field with a little room to run, good things are going to happen.
They hand it off. He doesn't get back to the line. The offense had a tough time picking up all their blocks on that play.
You know, you can draw up any sort of protection scheme and blocking scheme that you want. But ultimately, this game comes down to one big man against another big man, and that time the defense's big men, they won the battle.
Well, they wind up in reverse that time. Good push by the defense.
And when the defense gets that kind of penetration, it just disrupts everything for an offense. They have to get that guy blocked.
Over tough, 2 straight.
Back to throw. Throws on the run. And he's hammered at the 43-yard line. A solid gain on that pass play, but it'll still be short of the first down.
And there's really nothing a defense likes better than those 3rd and long situations where they can play passively. They don't have to worry about giving up the big play. Just come up and make the tackle. Good hit that time. Good solid tackle.
He gets it away. He fields the punt at the 16. They really did a good job keeping him contained on that one.
No question about it. He needs a little more help out of his blockers than he got right there. This is a dangerous guy, and if he can get in some open space, he can create some problems for you, but just no space to be found there.
Drops back on first down. It's completed. He took a shot at the 28-yard line. Looks like a gain of 9 on the pass play. They line up in a one-back set.
Luke 45. Pony.
Tosses it out. He's going to be tackled for a loss. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback. One man in the backfield. Setting up play action. Nearly picked off. He should have had that one. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
Lee punts it, and he kicked this one pretty well. McQuarters fields it at the 30. He got everything he could, but there really wasn't much there.
Boy, he hardly had any room to do anything there. They've got to come up with a better scheme or some better blockers or something. This guy's a good punt returner. He's just not getting any help at all from his teammates.
Screen here, Quan, screen.
Not much time to throw, and he catches it. He's dropped at about the 47-yard line. He gunned that one in there for the first down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see him driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
Omaha! Blue 45! Blue 45! Toby 32, Toby 32, come on.
Tosses it up. He's dropped for a loss. A great defensive effort there.
Did you see how fast that linebacker was on that one? Not only did he recognize it, but when he did recognize it, he had the explosiveness to get there.
They go with the toss. The defender gets him to the ground. Not what they were looking for on that play call.
You know, for a running back, there comes a point in time where you say, all right, this play is not working. Let me just get as much as I can and try to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Zebra!
He drops back to pass. He throws on the run. Batted away. Tumert was the intended receiver, but they can't complete the pass. It's fourth down. Looks like they're going to punt it away here. Thiegels is waiting for the snap. Thiegels kicks it away, and this one is short. It'll go out at the 38-yard line. Their last drive ended with a 3-and-out.
Overwatch, red man. Blue 45! Blue 45! Coming up. Live! Yeah, we see that screen.
He drops back. Here's the pass. Pass falls incomplete. Not a good pass that time, Chris. He forced it right into the coverage.
Whoa, that was really lucky that one wasn't picked out. Not a good decision at all there.
Let's go. Come on,
Play action. Rifles this one out to the middle. He's brought down at the 44-yard line. That pass is good for a first down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
Left. Let's go.
Smith sends a man in motion.
Down. Let's go. Keep your eyes open.
On play action. Defender tips it away. Davis was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. They line up at the 44.
Oh, make a play.
Two tight ends here.
Play outside him. Green 88. Hold on. Green 88. Jam free. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Smith hands it off. He's pushed out at the 43-yard line. Gain of under a yard. That'll bring up third down. Out of the shotgun.
Blue 45. Scatter.
Drops back. Scans the field. Bats it away. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while, you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
Punts it, and he got a good one here. Down in the end zone for a touchback. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. New York comes out with an I formation. to throw. Defense is getting pressure. The quarterback's just relieved that one wasn't off.
You're right, Tom. He knows he just got away with one there. That's a ball should have never thrown.
Manning is in the gun. 3 receivers split out.
Blue 45. Regular. Let's go, G. Now stay down.
It's the tailback. He fights forward to about the 23. Just about a 3-yard gain, and that makes it 3rd down. San Francisco lines up with 5 defensive backs.
48. Left, 21. Left.
Looks to pass. Fires it right. Clements knocks it away. The defense had their number during that last series as they go 3 and out.
And it really looked like the defense won the battle up front. The big guys controlling the line of scrimmage made the difference there.
Punts it. And they make the fair catch. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports.
Right.
The 49ers set up in the gun.
Good game. 44. 388. Hut. Play 3, man. Come on.
Smith dropping back. He's going to take off. He's tackled at the 39-yard line. Quarterback scramble gains 3 yards. They line up at the 39. New York lines up with their dime defense.
Blue 45. Blue 45.
Back to pass. He passes short, and it's caught. He's brought down at the 39-yard line. That pass play goes nowhere. From their own 39-yard line. The Giants line up with a nickelback. The 49ers put a man in motion to the right. Play fake. Gets the pass out. Threw it right to him, but he can't hang on. Not much of an offensive series that time. 3 and out after the incompletion on 3rd down.
Well, and there is some cumulative effect of those 3 and out series because they do tend to wear out your defense, which has to come right back out on the field now.
Lee punts it, and he kicked this one pretty well. Fielded at the 19. He's dropped at the 28-yard line, and that return should set this offense up nicely.
He did a good job there, finding a seam and getting up the field. You know, a lot of people don't realize that being a punt returner or a kick returner is one of the toughest jobs in the NFL. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong, and only a few that can really go right.
Drops back. Under heavy pressure. Pass is complete. That's the arm strength we've been talking about all week.
And you know the amazing thing about this guy, we all talk about his arm strength, but did you see how fluid that delivery was? He didn't even look like he was trying to throw it hard.
388. Scatter. Watch the switch.
Jacobs on the run. And they get him at the 49-yard line. A 5-yard pickup for the halfback. They line up at the 49, and there's 2 minutes remaining in the half. The Giants line up in the gun. 3 wide receivers are split out.
48.
Drops back to pass. Makes the throw out to his left. He's tackled right around the 42-yard line. And that pass was moving.
Yeah, and it's not that quarterbacks without strong arms can't make it in this league. But boy, it sure is an asset to have a guy with a cannon like that.
Looks for a man open. With the catch. Hit hard at the 35. That's now his 3rd reception of the drive. Pretty clear who the favorite target is on this possession.
You know, this receiver is just one of those guys that you want to keep busy. Some guys only want to try and catch the deep balls or the big plays. Other guys want to catch a lot of balls. This is one of those guys. He gets into a rhythm, and he can beat you.
He's looking to throw. Gets the throw away. Tackled at the 31. Nice job getting that pass out of there, and he picks up the first down.
Yeah, smart play call that time by the offense. He could tell by the pre-snap read that short throw was going to be there, and he took advantage.
Jacobs lines up as the deep back, I formation.
We're talking about
Looking to throw. The pass is away. Still perfect on the drive. And simply a great throw there.
Yeah, that really was a nice touch that time. Perfect sort of combination of velocity and touch. A very catchable ball thrown by this quarterback so that you don't have to overly focus on what you're doing and you can get your eyes back down the field, try and get a good run after the catch.
He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It looked as if the offensive line just collapsed on that play.
And it looked like this defensive line just beat him off the snap. Sometimes those guys can time out the quarterback's cadence, and if the quarterback doesn't start changing that snap count, his offensive line is going to really struggle.
That was a decent game there on the pass.
Yeah, no hesitation whatsoever. He hit that back foot, planted, threw the ball, knew exactly what he wanted to do.
No, you're good, you're good. Blue 45! Blue 45!
Manning has completed every pass on this drive. He's in. Touchdown. Outstanding play to the wide receiver as he took it the distance.
Well, that's just a big-time pitch and catch right there. The quarterback made a beautiful throw, but it was the route by the wide receiver that set it up. He was as open as I've seen all afternoon.
It's good. And here's your drive summary for that last series. And here's the kick. They get him at the 26-yard line. The offense takes the field, hoping to put something together after their last drive ended in a 3-and-out. The 49ers come out in a single back formation. He drops back. Dumps it out left. Completed. He's dropped at the 35. And you won't see the coaching staff complaining about that.
Yeah, coaching staffs generally don't complain about too much when they have a quarterback that has the leadership qualities and the arm strength and the ability that this guy has.
And a great pass by the quarterback to convert for the first.
And what we're seeing out of this quarterback is a variety of throws. Yes, he has the ability to zip it in there when he needs to, but we've also seen some touch throws, a very complete repertoire.
First down, looking to throw. Makes the reception. And he's drilled at the 49-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. The Giants line up with a nickelback. Back to throw. Throws it out. Ross has the interception. Why did he even make that pass?
Yeah, Tom, I think he got baited into that throw. He thought the defensive back was going elsewhere. He did a little fake, came back in, made the pick, just a real heads-up play.
They keep it on the ground with the tailback. Dropped behind the line. And we've come to halftime here. The score is 17-3. He kicks it. Taken from the 3-yard line. Dropped at the 28-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. New York goes with the ace set here. They hand it off. Brought down at the 29-yard line. I'd say he got 1 or 2 feet on that drop, and that will bring up second down. Manning lines up under center. Only one man back here. Manning set to go to the air. Throws it short. Tackled around the 36-yard line. And another connection that goes for good yardage.
And we really see the trust that is developing between this receiver and the quarterback. That if the quarterback has confidence that you're going to be where he thinks you're going to be, he will throw it to you more often than he'll throw it to somebody else.
Throws a bullet. Almost picked. So the offense will probably head off the field after failing to convert for a first down on that series.
Well, you're going to have to gather the troops over on the sideline because whether it was poor play calling or poor execution, they never got anything going that time.
He punts it. Rossum fields it at the 27. And that wasn't a very impressive return on that one.
Well, at least he got a few yards on that play. You'd expect a little bit more out of a return man, but I'm not so sure if the kick coverage was so good or the return was not so good, but either way, a little short gain on that one.
They hand it off. He lost yardage on the play. They want to dump that one.
Yeah, I think that one's already in the trash can. You probably won't see that one run again. But I will say this, that penetration does that to any offense, and that time they just got in the backfield.
Drops back. Short throw to the right. He's tackled around the 34-yard line. Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
Looks to pass. Throws while on the run. He's dropped at the 41-yard line. Chris, they'd love to run that play.
Yeah, that's one, if you study this team on tape, you're going to see them go to that in the clutch, and it worked again.
Gives it off. He's brought down at about the 41. They get 1 yard on the play.
The defense did a nice job there jamming the running back, bringing the outside linebacker on a blitz. Sometimes those outside backers a little more athletic and can really help stop the run.
Smith hands it off straight ahead. He gets out to about the 45-yard line. Gain of 2, and so it'll be third down. The offense facing another third down here as they line up. New York lines up with 5 defensive backs. Smith hands off to the left. Brought down around the 45-yard line. So they tried to push it ahead, but the defense stopped them short of the first down.
Looked like one of those old-fashioned rugby scrums there. A lot of big bodies piled together and nowhere for the running back to go.
Punts it. It'll go out at the 34-yard line. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt. They keep it on the ground with the tailback. And they get him right around the 38-yard line. Jacobs gains around 6 yards on the run. So second down now. The offense needs about 4 for the first. Man in motion. He's looking to throw. He throws right. Brings it in. He makes a great open field tackle. A decent gain on the pass.
And that's good quarterback play. He recognized the blitz, he understood what was happening with the coverage behind it, and found the open man.
Jacobs gets the call again. Tackled at the 48-yard line. Jacobs gets about 4 yards on the play. New York comes out with an I formation. Brought down about the 43-yard line. Jacobs picks up about 4 yards on the play. They'll come out in the eye. Pitch out. He's hammered in the backfield. They just couldn't get the first on the ground.
Yeah, the defense really sold out on the run that time. I was hoping I would see a quarterback audible there because the defense was showing they were going to play the run. They did play the run, and obviously the quarterback didn't make the right call.
He punts it. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. Let's see if the offense can put something together on this drive. They line up at the 20. The 49ers come out in a 2 tight end set. Gives it off. He's tackled right around the 22-yard line. Gore gets 3 yards on the play. They line up at the 23. They come out with a big set. Smith looking to throw. Screen pass. And they get him right around the 28-yard line. That reception is good for 7.
Nice play there. It's only 7 yards, but that's the kind of underneath throw that eventually opens up some throws down the field.
Man in motion. Back to pass. Smith is going to be sacked for a loss. Dockery records the sack on the play. 4th down. The 49ers are lining up to punt it away. McQuarters awaiting the return. Lee punts it, and he kicked this one pretty well. McQuarters fields it at the 29. He's dropped around the 39-yard line. What happened to the coverage there, Chris?
Oh, come on. They completely lost containment on that guy. I mean, you just can't let that happen. I'll be honest, they were really lucky they didn't give up a touchdown on that one.
Manning hands it left. He's brought down right around the 38-yard line. The running back gets about a yard, maybe less. They'll go from the I formation. They'll finally get him to the ground at the 35. He just made this defense look really bad.
And you can see a defense, when they get gouged for a big run like that, they all start looking around and thinking, whose gap was that? Who gave up that big a hole?
Back to pass. Gets the throw off. Brought down at the 25. Nice toss that time that'll get them a lot closer.
You know, there's really no doubting this quarterback's physical skills. Sometimes he struggles with his mechanics or accuracy, but I don't think that there's really any issue. This guy has the ability to be an elite quarterback.
They're going to pitch it. Tackled at the 15. They need to come up with a better game plan to stop this guy.
Yeah, you're not kidding. They can't keep giving up those big chunks of yardage like that. If they do, it's going to be awfully tough to stop this offense.
He drops back. Dumps it out right. They finally get him, and it looked like he would score, but instead they'll set it up with 1st and goal. New York trying to go up by 3 scores. They put everyone up on the line. They hand it off. He gets in for 6. So he puts his head down and punches it in for the score.
And that wasn't a fullback, ladies and gentlemen. That was the halfback with a little power running. That was impressive.
Extra point is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Nice kick, plenty of distance. He'll take it from the 2. Drilled at the 22. They were forced to punt on their last drive. They'll take over at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10. Offset I formation in the backfield. They hand it off. He's brought down at about the 21. He got what he could, and it wasn't much. That'll bring up 2nd down. From the gun. He drops back to pass. Rockets it out. Dropped an easy one. A great play by the defense to knock the ball away.
And these defenders have been close all day. You better be careful if you're the quarterback. One of those is going to turn into an interception.
He drops back. Throws it short. He's there for the catch. It does go for a completion, but not quite what they needed for the first.
The intention of that play was to put the ball in the hands of a playmaker at receiver, allow him to make a move and pick up the first down. He was unable to do it, and that brings up 4th.
Lee kicks it away, and did he ever get a hold of this one? McQuarters takes it at the 33, and he won't get very far on that return attempt.
Man, those guys were flying down the field. He didn't have a chance on that one. His blocker's got to do something for that poor guy out there, or he's going to get killed.
Feeds it to the back. And they get him at the 38. The halfback picks up a yard. From their own 38-yard line. The Giants go with the I formation. Manning drops back to pass. And he caught it. He's dropped right around the 42-yard line. Just a short, efficient throw that time.
Yeah, a true sign of patience on the offensive side. You let the play develop. You find the open receiver. Maybe he takes a look down the field. It's not there. Just go ahead and take that safe throw.
Hands it to the back. He's brought down at the 49-yard line. The defense couldn't figure out a way to come up with a stop on that 3rd down attempt.
And let's give that big offensive line a little credit there. They knew they were going to have to drive this defense off the ball, and that's exactly what they did on that one.
He's tackled at the 39-yard line. And that was a nice job to pick up the 1st down.
Nothing makes a defensive coordinator cringe more than seeing that kind of run, because then it sets up the play action, and there's almost no way to stop an offense if you can't stop the run and you have to deal with play action.
They hand it off again. Brought down at the 38. A pickup of less than a yard.
Not very often in a game does a defender get a clean shot like that on a running back. Typically, the running back didn't see it coming to take that kind of a shot.
Drops back to pass. Picked off. What a big-time play. I can't believe he hung on to it.
Well, we're going to have to quit using that old cliche about cornerbacks and defensive backs not being able to catch the football. That was some play that time. Nice play fake.
Pass completed. He's brought down at the 32-yard line. Pretty good gain right there.
You have so many people on this offense that you have to account for. The tight ends, the wide receivers, the running backs, even the quarterbacks. And now they're throwing to the fullback. That's almost not fair.
Back to throw. And they're coming after him. It's broken up. Battle was the intended receiver, but the pass fell incomplete. They'll face 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 32. San Francisco comes out with 3 receivers in the shotgun. Drops back. Short throw to the right. Steps out at the 31. Gord only gains about a yard with that catch. From the 31-yard line, Smith is back in the gun.
Scatter!
Drops back to pass. He throws right. He's finally dragged down, and now it will be 1st and goal. It's 1st and goal, 10 yards to the end zone. They find themselves in the red zone for the first time today. Drops back with the pass. Brought down at the 4. They gained 5 on the play.
Hey, no need to force it. He just took what the defense gave him there, found the open man, and picked up a few yards.
Drops back to pass. End zone. It's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. 4 yards will get them in for the score. Gord is the deep back as they line up in the I. Looks to pass. Touchdown, and they're not ready to quit just yet. Nice play call on that one to get the ball in the receiver's hands.
Well, this quarterback isn't always perfect, but when he gets hot, he can make throws like that into small spots that are so impressive.
So they're ready for the extra point. Set down. The kick is up. Point after is good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. The kick. He'll return it from the 3. He's hammered at the 23-yard line. The quarterback and his receiver were clearly not on the same page last time, and it led to an interception. New York lines up in a double tight set. Little handoff. He is hit hard on the play. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback.
Wow, did you see the hit on that play? That's one of those you kind of stagger back to the huddle and you talk to the quarterback and you say, how about a pass on this one?
Blue 45! Blue 45! Here we go! Watch the switch. Scatter!
He drops back. Looking for an open man. Makes the grab. He's tackled at the 32-yard line. Another fine pass and catch on that play.
I know we all talk about 40-yard dash times in the NFL, but as a receiver, if you are a great route runner and you understand what the defenses are trying to do to you, it doesn't matter if you run a 4.3 40. If you can get in and out of your cuts like this guy, you will always be able to play.
He's brought down around the 35-yard line. Not much on the pass play, but they got the first down.
And really, as an offense, what you want to try to do is stay on the field as long as possible. As long as your defense is on the bench, that other team's offense is on the bench as well.
Here's the throw. There for the reception. He's dropped at the 45. And a pretty smart play call right there.
It really is so much the key to the football. You talk all the time about you have to establish the run. Well, there you see why. You establish the run, and then you come with the play-action pass. Just so hard to defend.
And that's the end of the third quarter. Our score in this one is the Giants 24, the 49ers 10. It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 45.
New call. New 45. New 45.
They keep it on the ground with the tailback. Tackled around the 48-yard line. 3 yards on the run.
On the play. Gain of 3.
2nd and 7 coming up here. The Giants line up in the gun. 3 wide receivers are split out.
Green 88. Green 88. Turn over, D. Friday.
Manning hasn't missed yet. Looking for a receiver. Knocked down. What a play by the defender.
And the quarterback really caught a break on that one, that wasn't intercepted.
Pitch out. And he's knocked out at the 43-yard line. They're putting together a nice drive here.
Yeah, and that's the second third down conversion of the drive. Defensively, those guys have been trying a lot of different looks and so far unable to come up with the right answer.
Tiger. Hey, don't get that ball out.
Manning drops back. Throws out to the right. Drops the easy pick. The defender was able to get a hand on it.
And really, that came as a result of pretty physical play at the line of scrimmage. They're banging these guys around and not letting them get into their routes.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Black out, Philly. Wingo.
And he will lose yardage on the play. There was no way that defensive end was letting him go by.
Really impressive play that time by this defensive line. It wasn't just one guy, but every guy up front just dominating their guy at the point of attack.
They go with a run. He's brought down around the 39-yard line. Is that a good play call?
Yeah, you know, Tom, I really do like that one. You're giving up a chance, I guess, for a first down, but you probably have a bigger chance in that situation to turn the football over. So just turn around, hand it off, and he nearly broke it out of there.
Gets the punt away. Down in the end zone for a touchback. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Gore gets the handoff to the right. Brought down behind the line. He couldn't get anywhere on that one.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to admit defeat on a play as a running back and just try and get that thing back to the line of scrimmage.
Come on, D. Green 88.
He drops back. Going for it all. Nearly picked off. He should have had that one. Davis was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. Third down and 13 to go. Ball on the 17. Smith steps up to the line. 3 wide receivers. Battle takes off to the right side. Drops back. Dumps it out right. He's dropped around the 27-yard line. They complete the pass on 3rd and long, but they'll end up short of the marker.
You can see the confidence level of this defense. They know they can make open field tackles, and that's probably one of the great lost arts in the game. The ability to make the tackle in the open field and stop them short of the first down. Good play defensively there.
McQuarters takes it at the 28. It looked for a moment that he might take that one all the way back.
Boy, that was a close one for the coverage team. They were able to wrap him up before he broke it open, but He is on the brink. This coverage team is going to have to start playing with a little more intensity, a little more heart, or they're going to give up a big one.
Back to pass. Flips it out short. Out of bounds, incomplete. They complete the pass, but he was out of bounds when he brought it in.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe throw there where only the receiver can make a play on the ball. Just a little too wide on that one.
Toomer in motion. Back to throw. All kinds of pressure. And he's out at about the 47-yard line. And he just couldn't get it going after making the catch.
Nope, and sometimes as a receiver, the quarterback will make the wrong read and throw it to you anyway, and you give him that look going back to the huddle. You know that look?
He drops back to pass. Scans the field. There for the catch. To the 20. To the 10. They'll get in for the touchdown. The defense can't keep him out of the end zone. That was his second touchdown of the contest.
I really like to watch this receiver work in the end zone. He doesn't lose his patience. He runs the route, he keeps his focus, and he makes plays. He is top in the red zone.
And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick is away. Fielded at the 4. That was a great hit. He wasn't getting away from that one. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. San Francisco is going with the offset eye backfield. Play action. On the run, he throws it. Threw it right to him, but he can't hang on. And it's batted away at the last minute by the defender.
Just when it looked like the quarterback might sneak that one in there, a late pass defense and a good play.
He's looking to throw. Throws it short. He gets knocked out of bounds right around the 46-yard line. They just couldn't get to the quarterback in time.
It's one of the dangers. You bring those extra defenders trying to get after the quarterback, and you're going to leave some man coverage on the outside. That time the quarterback able to take advantage.
Drops back on first down. He needs to get rid of it. Comes down with it. Huge tackle. He was gone. That was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, great throw, but maybe even a better read. He understood by watching what the defense did after the snap of the football exactly where to go with that ball.
Gore gets the call. Brought down at the 40. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. San Francisco comes out with 2 tight ends. The halfback with the carry. And he's hit hard at the 43. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback. Smith lines up under center. 4 receivers are split out wide. Back to throw. Looks right. Throw. And he should have had that one. And the defender breaks up the play.
Just great position that time on the defensive side. The receiver really never had a chance on that one.
The offense lines this one up in shotgun with 2 tight ends. Drops back. He's under pressure. Is there for the catch. Defense pushes him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. That's a great 4th down conversion.
Yeah, but you don't want to make a living on 4th down. You'd like to execute a little bit better on the first 3 downs. Let's see what they can do here.
There's a play fake. Gets rid of the ball. He's brought down at the 13. And a nice pass to the tight end.
So much of the game today revolves around those substitution packages, trying to bring extra defensive backs on the field to try and help against the pass. But when you have a big receiving tight end, that really makes that plan awfully tough to execute.
Passes to the end zone. Battle was the intended target on that incomplete pass attempt.
Second down.
So they'll face a 2nd and 10. And this is the 10th play of the drive. Looking to throw. Scrambles for yardage. Tackled around the 8-yard line. A 5-yard QB scramble.
Gain of 5.
They'll need 7 for the score. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Smith drops to throw. Under heavy pressure, Smith can't escape the pressure. That was a great time to call for the corner blitz.
Anytime you blitz a corner, it's risky. You leave a receiver open, but so many times the quarterback is not expecting those corner blitzes, so they're not really watching out there. And the offensive lineman, it's really easy to miss those guys too.
Passes to his left. What an open field tackle. They'll set up shop at the 8, 1st and 10. New York lines up with 3 receivers in the shotgun formation. Looking to throw. Throws out right. They finally knock him out at the 42-yard line. The quarterback broke down the coverage on that one. 1st down.
That's a good call, Tom, because when you see a zone defense, the entire objective of a zone defense is we're not going to give up the big play. We'll allow you to dump it underneath and come up and make the tackle. They did neither on that play.
From their own 42-yard line. Jacobs lines up as the deep back, I formation.
Watch the ball, watch the ball. Rigo. 48. Friday.
On the ground with a tailback. He's tackled at the 46-yard line. Jacobs picks up about 4 yards on the play. From their own 46-yard line. I formation here.
Luke 45. Let's go quick games. 44 press. 44 press.
Looking to throw. Goes through his read. Makes the catch. Nice pass for the quarterback on that one with the defense bearing down on him.
Only gained about 4 yards on that play, but sometimes as an offense, as long as it's not a negative play, it's a positive play.
48. Block 99 Philly.
Drops back to pass. Throws short. And it's completed. And that will be enough for the 1st down.
You know, it really wasn't a horrible call that time by the defense, but anytime you have to try and stop an offense like this in those medium yardage situations, you really have to come up in the coverage.
He's brought down around the 39-yard line. A good 6 yards there by the halfback on the toss play. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Here's the give. And they get him at about the 37-yard line. A pickup of a yard for the halfback.
That was a big shot right there. You talk about getting your bell rung. That was the Liberty Bell ringing that time.
Again with the carry. He doesn't get back to the line. The defense seemed to do everything right there.
And you love to see those linebackers playing downhill like that, not just flowing sideline to sideline, but attacking and trying to get in the backfield.
He gets it away. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports.
Let's go, baby. Get the ball out. Luke 45.
Tosses it out. Brought down around the 25-yard line. Gore comes away with around 5 yards on the toss out wide. 2nd and 5.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go.
Smith lines up under center. 3 receivers are split out wide. This one might have been a false start on the offense. Let's get the call.
False start, offense.
And he definitely moved on that one.
And it's so embarrassing to jump off sides for an offensive player because you know the snap count. But I swear there's so many things going through your mind, especially if the guy across from you is beating you in the head all day. Sometimes you just forget.
Smith drops back to pass. Passes to his left. He's dropped at the 36-yard line. And this receiver just loves it when the defense is in man coverage.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than when you're coming off the ball and you know it's just you and the guy across from you. That's just good old-fashioned football, but you also know typically when you get man coverage, your quarterback is under pressure.
Smith sends a guy in motion to the right. Looks to pass. With the pass. Struggles to find his target with that one. Battle was the intended receiver, but they can't complete the pass. He's looking to throw. And the defense has a heavy rush. They get to the QB. They have to find a way to provide better protection for him.
You're absolutely right. There was not a very good blocking scheme on that one. If you can't get them blocked with 5 guys, you got to start leaving in 6, maybe even 7. These are tremendous pass rushers in this game today.
He drops back. Short pass to his left. He's brought down right around the 30-yard line. They complete the pass, but it won't be enough for the first.
Yeah, that's one of those balls that looks good in the stats for the quarterback because he gets a completion, but for this offense, it's going to bring up 4th down. Huge play defensively to make that stop.
Lee kicks it away, and did he ever get a hold of this one? McQuarters fields it at the 22. Brought down at the 44-yard line. And that was a pretty nice return there, Chris.
He was just a couple of steps away from breaking that one all the way. This coverage team better start stepping up or he's going to take one in for 6.
They give it to the tailback. He's dropped around the 50-yard line. A nice 6-yard gain by the halfback. Jacobs alone in the backfield. Drops back. Looks for a man open. Catch is made. He's brought down at the 27. Good pickup by the receiver.
And we've always talked about this receiver's big play ability. He may not be the fastest guy in the league, but you can tell he wants the ball in his hands in big situations.
Not much time to throw. Clements gets his hand on it. And they can't complete the first down pass attempt. 2nd down coming up. They'll face 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 27. New York lines up in a goal line set. Give to the tailback. Hit and drop behind the line. Nice stop on that play.
Yeah, great defense at the point of attack, but also very impressive the pursuit to the ball. They were all coming there.
Let's go. Blue 45. Blue 45.
Hands it off. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of coaches would have tried to get the first here.
Yeah, but you do gamble if you put the ball in the air in that situation. I think right now the coach is saying I have more faith in my defense to make some stops than my offense to convert that play.
The set down. The kick is up. It's got the distance. That was a great kick from that distance.
It really was, wasn't it? There are no field goal kicker jokes going on the sideline right now. Just a lot of love.
Here's the kick. Robinson from the 5. Brought down at the 31. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 31-yard line. New York brings in their nickel package. Back to throw. Short throw to the right. Goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line. He's put up some nice yardage, Chris.
He sure has, but throwing for 300 yards probably isn't quite the same feat it used to be. You know, there's so many rule changes now. The offensive linemen can do a little more holding, use their hands more. Of course, you can't hit the receivers, but it's still a nice landmark.
Brought down at the 49-yard line. That's a 3-yard gain. It's second down and 7 to go. The 49ers come out in a single back formation. Smith looking to throw. Rifles it to the middle. 2 minutes left in the ball game. A good amount of yards that time on the pass.
And running backs who are good receivers are pretty rare. You know, a lot of times those guys, they come out and they're good running the football, but they don't make the kind of plays in the passing game. This guy can clearly do both.
Moves up, throws it, brings this one in. He's brought down at the 35. Gore picks up about 5 yards with the catch. make that 4 wide receiver formation. The 49ers changing their play at the line. Smith hasn't missed yet. He throws it. He makes another catch. Tackled at the 16. They go to their hurry-up offense. Ace backfield this time. San Francisco using an audible. First down, looking to throw. Dumps it out right. He's tackled at the 7. Good job locating the gap in the coverage on that play.
You know, that's the kind of pass pattern I used to always love to run, because if the defense is even a little bit lax in their coverage, it's pretty easy to get that one in there.
Smith back to pass. He's been perfect on this drive. And they get him around the 1-yard line. Well, that was one of the best catches that you'll see all day.
And when you're trying to catch those high, hard ones, you just don't know what's going to happen to your body. I tell you, you haven't lived until you caught one of those and had one of those clowns flip you upside down.
They'll set this one up inside the 5. Ball on the 1-yard line. He drops back. Passes to the end zone. Another touchdown for the wide receiver, and the defense got to be a little frustrated out there.
You know, they just can't get their hands on him. He's just too quick at the line of scrimmage. He's too quick coming in and out of his breaks, and he's making this defense look bad.
San Francisco motions left. They're going to pitch it. Makes a move, and he's in for 2. Great job there. They were able to convert.
And you could tell the offense had a plan throughout that drive. Not only did they get the touchdown, but they immediately got the call in for the 2-point conversion. They knew exactly what they wanted to do and executed it perfectly.
And that play could definitely get them right back into it.
And that's the break they absolutely needed to get here. Now they get their offense back on the field and maybe, just maybe, get themselves back in the game.
Smith takes it back. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Gain a couple through the air.
Boy, that's really a nice tackle on that play. Anytime you get man coverage on the outside against a receiver, you have to be able to make that one-on-one play, and he did it great.
Looks to pass. Guns it out. And he's out at the 46-yard line. The defense was in great position to stop that play short, bringing up a 3rd down situation.
And when I saw the quarterback drop back that time, I really thought they had something going, but they closed quickly and made a nice play defensively to bring up this 3rd down.
Play action. It's tipped. And not a good throw that time. He forced it right into coverage.
Well, this is a guy who's known for taking some risks, but that was an unnecessary risk there. Lucky that wasn't intercepted.
Drops back. Surveys the field. Phillips gets his hand on it. The offense will take over at the 46-yard line. And this should be a kneel down as they just try to kill the clock. And he'll just kneel it here. They line up at the 47. New York lines up in the offset eye this time. Gives to the back. He fumbled it. Now the quarterback has the ball. That one popped out, but they recovered it to retain possession.
And it's not always who has possession when you go to the bottom of one of those piles. It's who comes out with it at the end of that little scrum discussion down there. I've actually been pinched and had my hair pulled at the bottom of one of those piles.
So this one is all wrapped up. Our final score, the Giants 34, the 49ers 18.